Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to show you how to make white bread. Now this is a recipe that I developed quite a while ago actually. I struggled to make bread for quite some time, but when I figured it out, I developed this recipe and now I want to share it with you. I do not like bread with doughy centers, and I reassure you that this bread, as long as you use bread flour, this bread will not have a doughy center. So if you are another person who has had bread that had that issue, I totally get it. I'm going to cut it in half actually and show you I am not bluffing. Bam! Perfect, beautiful, soft, gorgeous white bread. Oh, and it smells so good. Even when it's not hot, it smells. Ugh, this is just it right here. So, I hope you enjoy my video. I hope you get something out of it. Please, let me know how your bread turns out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. That would be awesome. I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. And of course, the recipe is going to be down below in the description. And as usual, make sure you like and subscribe so that I can keep making content just like this. And let's get right into it. Alrighty guys, to get this kicked off, we are going to go ahead and start with adding 2 tablespoons of sugar to a big bowl. I have got an even smaller bowl put to the side for weighing my flour. We are going to do a cup of milk. This has to be warm milk. This is 110 degrees, just warm milk. I usually do it when it's warm to the touch, but for people who are particular, 110 degrees. Same with the water. Warm water is 1.5 cups of warm water. Now to our milk and to our water, we are going to add in a tablespoon of yeast. Just like that. Beautiful. Now we're going to set everything to the side. We're going to push this to the side and grab my brand new scale. Yes, I bought a scale. I listen to people. I understand. No more inaccurate flour measurements for me. Get a smaller bowl, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to measure out 750 grams of bread flour. The reason I picked bread flour over all-purpose is because it just helps me build better gluten structure, and the gluten is going to help us with the texture of the bread, and also to keep the center of our bread from being doughy. So we're going to hit the button. We're going to make sure this is in grams. We're going to weigh. See, can you see that? No, you can't. Hold on. Okay, you guys can't see the screen here. Sorry, hold on. Alright, if you can't see the screen still, this is 180 grams. I'm going to hit the tare button. And now it's 0 grams. And because I have a hole in the bottom of this bag of flour, we are going to do it that way. Forgive me. I'm not the most organized person. This hole just got here today, so don't worry. It's actually why we're making bread. Alright, so now we're going to try to do 750 grams of bread flour. If you see a bay leaf, sorry about that. That's just a storage technique we use. And this bread flour is gold medal. 750 grams through the wrong hole. The wrong side of the bag here. We're getting there. Okay, we're in 725, 30, 40, 50. Nope, it's over 50. Oh, I just made a bigger mess. Hold on. That's okay. We're going to be kneading on the countertop anyways, but I have a hole in the bottom of this bag. Oh, here's the bay leaf that I was talking about. Bugs don't like bay leaves, so we put it in our flour. 49, 56, 55. That's 53. That's alright. There we go. 750 grams. Take her off, turn her off, put her to the side. Grab our yeast again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our bread flour and we are going to pour it over our yeast. Just like that. And this is actually going to help our yeast do its thing. Yeast loves flour. Now I'm going to put this to the side. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Found it. Teaspoon of salt. Just took this from the butter dish. I think this is probably 2 tablespoons of butter. So 2 tablespoons of butter. Just like that. And then that is literally it. So I'm going to grab my spatula and I'm going to try to start lightly mixing this. Now, generally speaking, if you have a stand mixer, awesome. I have a stand mixer, but I'm not doing this with a stand mixer because I understand that there's a lot of people in this world who do not have them. So we're just going to press down the flour with our spatula. Now, if you have a stand mixer, you want to put this on slow to medium speed and just start mixing away. At the moment, we're going to do it this way. Just like that. Alright. Now it's time to get my hands dirty. This is the fun part. I can already tell it's probably going to need more flour, but we're going to start the kneading process inside the bowl and then we'll transport it out onto the counter. My butter still hasn't been completely incorporated yet. It's alright. Just like that. Alright, we got a pretty decent sized ball going on. Put this to the side and plop. Now we're going to grab more flour from our backwards bag. Not much, just some, because it's obvious that it doesn't really need that much flour, just to keep it from sticking. And we're going to start kneading this for about 8 minutes. So if you're running a stand mixer, get it to where it is an incorporated ball of dough. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a nice ball of dough where it all sticks together, looks like kind of like this. And then turn it on and whir it for about 7 to 8 minutes. If you're hand kneading it, same thing. So we're going to do this for 8 minutes. Knead away. Oh, see the butter? Get it back in there. Don't worry. This butter is going to be very helpful in the future. Oh, and a helpful tip, you still want it to be wet to the touch, but you don't want it to stick to you. So if it's wet to the touch and it's not sticking to you, that's absolutely perfect, because too much flour and your bread will end up kind of flat and heavy. Too little flour and it'll just be, I don't know, it'll break apart really easy. So there's definitely a rhythm to it. So I have just found that if it's still wet to the touch but doesn't stick to my hands, that is the perfect consistency for my bread. Now I have got it right about at the 7 or 8 minute mark, and what I like to do is, if you want to, you can go ahead and warm up your oven if you have a heat function or just a warm function on your oven. That's awesome. But what I like to do is I like to take my dough and just to cup my hands at the back of the dough and just roll it across my counter just like that. And it helps build some tension in the loaf for when it rises. Just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the same bowl that I mixed it up in. I'll probably just add some flour to it and it will be just fine to rise in that. Just add some flour, knock it around, and there we go. Awesome. Now we're going to put our ball of dough in our bowl. We are going to cover it up and we're going to stick it in our warm oven. And we are going to allow it to rise for 1 hour. So it's going to be nice and poofy in about an hour, and I will get back with you and I will show you what to do next. Alrighty, you guys, it is proofed. It has been about an hour now and she is looking lovely. If you hear any beating or banging in the background, I have some people, mainly my dad and my brother, that are fixing up the porch. So, warning. I don't think you will, but just if you do. Drills, maybe, stuff like that. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to grab, got it. This is a bench scraper, I think is what they call it. And I have a rolling pin, and I have this here. I have my countertop. Hold on. I need to get my pans buttered up. I have 2 loaf pans that I'm going to go ahead and cover in spray butter right now. I literally just ran out of spray butter. Alrighty, I made sure my hands are nice and clean, and now what we're going to do is we're going to gently press down. You can do the punch too. Just gently press down. I find that brutalizing the dough doesn't really help my situation, so I do it gently, but if you want to punch your dough, go ahead. I don't care. Alright, now we're going to take this out, put this on our counter. Now this dough, I haven't really seen the need to cut it in half. I haven't really seen the real need to be using flour on my surface, just because it's just such a nice dough. But if your dough is a little stickier than mine is, flour your surface pretty well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our rolling pin and we're going to go ahead and just roll down our dough, make it nice and flat. And this will help keep some of the tension in our loaf. And what I like to do is I like to just roll it like this. Try to tuck in these uneven edges like so, and put it in my very well loved, it's all scratched up about that, it's alright, very well loved loaf pan. Just like that. Little happy burrito. Put this to the side. Pop this down, do the same thing. We're going to take all of the air out of it. More of a texture thing than anything. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing these in a warm oven and letting them rise for 25 minutes. But before we do that, I actually want to show you, I like to cover my loaves with olive oil. I found that that helps retain the moisture without having to use butter, because I understand that butter is expensive. Olive oil can be expensive too, it depends on what you buy. But I like to cover mine in olive oil, so I'll show you that here in a minute. There we go, I got a happy little burrito. 2 happy burritos. I'm going to go get some olive oil. Alright, I've got a little bit of olive oil in a cup, and I'm just going to lightly cover this, not lightly actually, pretty heavy actually. I'm going to cover this here bread in the olive oil, and this will help it retain moisture. Don't worry, it does not affect the flavor at all. If anything, it makes it easier to get out of the pan. Just slides right out. So we're going to cover this in our olive oil. This is probably like a tablespoon of olive oil in here. I didn't measure it, but in case you want to know. Now that it's covered in our olive oil, we're going to let it rest in our oven for 25 more minutes. It may take like, I don't know, 30, maybe even 40 minutes sometimes. If you don't use a heated oven, heat just helps it rise faster. Alrighty guys, this is what they look like, all risen up. They've been in there for about 23 to 25 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and kick our oven on at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes on the lower to bottom rack of your oven. If you only have 3 modes, just do it on the center rack. But if you have, I don't know, I got like 5 maybe, then I'll put it on just the one above the lowest position in my oven, and I will get these all baked up, and I'll show you what they look like, what they should look like when they get pulled out of the oven. So I will see you then, and we will be going towards the end of our video, and we will have 2 beautiful loaves of bread. Alrighty you guys, I am done with my bread, and what do you think? I personally think it is a roaring success. It looks awesome. Oh my gosh. So the reason why you weigh your flour is because you don't want your bread to end up accidentally heavy. And I struggled with that for a very long time, but this is about how it should look. Just a nice golden brown sort of color. And the olive oil did all of the moisturizing, keeping that it needed, whatever you call it. And yeah, it's just a really good bread recipe to have around. And it's easy. And I like easy. I have it on this wire rack. If you don't have a wire rack, you can probably find a way to prop it up on your bread pans. But yeah, I have to wait until it completely cools down before I can cut into it. Otherwise, it will tear it apart. So I have to wait, which is sad. It's still warm right now. I have to wait, which is sad. But I will be cutting it open at the beginning of the video. So you probably already seen it by now. You already know what's going on in there. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.